two cameras that are right beside each other.
What's going on, buddy?
Oh man, how are you?
I am all right. It's been a.
You don't look all right.
I'm tired, but I'm all right. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll talk about it, man. What are we drinking? You're the booze guy tonight.
So we went back to another local one we've had before, just because we're both tired and just lazy tonight. So this is Dumpling Creek Gin, 90 proof. The Treaty of Dumpling Creek. I'm not reading that again, but
go back and listen.
This is from Dumpling Creek Distillery, Sevierville, Tennessee. I don't remember which episode we had this on, but Dumpling Creek Gin.
I remember it being
not bad,
I had it neat, right? I don't think I mixed
did you?
it. Yeah. And so I remember it being neat. It was okay. It wasn't amazing. It doesn't do Dolly Parton justice, though. Let me tell you that right now.
No, it doesn't.
No,
I
it don't
enjoy
taste like titties.
I don't drink a lot of gin neat, so any gin that I drink is typically as a gin and tonic. And
the goddamn Ryan Reynolds gin. I drink
good.
that shit neat all day. Cheers.
Man, I love a gin and tonic.
Oh, so speaking of Ryan Reynolds, I need to get it back out there. I only shared it once, but I made a petition.
A partition?
A partition. I made a petition. It's posted on Twitter. The link is, I'm going to float it back out there again. Probably should on Instagram too, but it's a petition to get Ryan Reynolds as a Zoom guest on this podcast.
Zoom? I thought it was going to be in person.
Well, if it is in person, but COVID, we have to respect the man. We don't want to get that.
I'll wear a mask.
Perfect body sick.
Yeah.
But dude, that'd be even better if he fucking came to Knoxville and sat in your rape basement for an episode. We would all be best friends.
You think so?
Anyway, it's a petition to sign, and we have 3 signatures on it right now, which I think is like 3 more than I anticipated that we would get. And Gabe. But
nice.
But if you listen to this at all, I'm gonna put the links up on the socials and go sign.
It's interesting.
Whatever. Go sign this petition. Like, my goal is 50 signatures.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to start hyping that like it's all the people that matter in the world.
Right. That's funny. 50 signatures. I mean, we should be able to get 50 signatures.
Yeah.
Anyone that listens to this, go find the petition.
It'll be up tomorrow.
So, if you will get me the link, I'll share it on our Facebook page.
Share it on your personal page as well, and then also at work, and then with your family.
Yeah. I think I can handle that.
You could have another experience. We could have a shared experience in family disappointment.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
yeah.
No, go ahead.
And I was just excited about that petition that I know will go nowhere, because I'm still one of the things I'm most upset about in my life is what a great joke my Ryan Reynolds post was, because I went that tirade for I kept it up for about a month where I tweeted at Ryan Reynolds every single day, just random jokes, whatever the case may be. Never got anything back. Never even got a like.
And then eventually gave up on it, like you did our band.
That got exhausting. The band one did, but this was my personal.
But
page.
They were great though.
But I was like, man, this guy's liking fucking cancer kids posts. I'm actually way funnier than these cancer kids.
Right.
But my favorite one was the why aren't Ryan Reynolds hugs called Reynolds raps? And I'm like, that made me so happy. Yeah, I need to bring back the music thing. Maybe start doing them once a week instead of every day, because it was like a week, man. I was cranking those bitches out.
Yeah, your best one, I still think, was Mike Herrera's.
Yeah,
that was a really.
That was the first.
It was the first, but it was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah.
And did he like it or just MXPX?
He liked it.
Yeah, there you go.
He didn't retweet it, but
of course not.
He fucking should have.
You'd think.
Yeah,
but, now that Reese has been on here, you should go redo.
Oh, I'm using Reese Roper as leverage, even though I was thinking about it today while I was driving back. I was like, I guarantee you, he finished that phone call or that Zoom, and not once has he talked about, or even has it been a blip on his radar that he did this podcast.
I think he liked a couple of tweets. Maybe not.
Did he? No, I don't think he did.
I thought he did. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Fiverr and Frenzy liked a couple.
Fiverr and Frenzy did, yeah.
Well, I don't know who controls their account. If it's
I think all of them. They all have.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, and they might have maybe, but but I'm just saying, like us, we were like, yeah, Reese Roper's on. Let's talk about this, and then he's probably like, what the fuck ever, I don't care. Oh, that's one of the things I wanted to mention. I listened back to our episodes because it's genuinely a surprise for me, because I don't remember anything we talk about during these or what I say. And so it's like listening to a podcast I've never heard.
It's hard to pay attention to what we're saying with all those dicks in your mouth.
It is. That's why I'm fucking picking pubes all the time. But so I was listening back, and I realized we did the cut-in, which we don't usually do at the end of the episode. And we were talking about our favorite 5 Iron Frenzy albums and whatever. And I was devastated to hear. I misspeak a lot. I say the wrong shit all the time. And I listened to that. I was like, oh, if anybody that was actually a 5 Iron fan listened to that, they're like, that fucking douchebag poser. Like, there's no way he's... I refer to their second record as Handbook for the Mediocre. So I smashed... Their first album is our newest album... Or, I'm sorry. Their second album is the newest album ever.
Yep.
First song on that is Handbook for the Sellout.
Yep.
Reese Roper's solo record was Brace Yourself for the Mediocre. So I smashed 3 fucking things that had nothing to do with each other into one fucking thing, and I listened to it, and I was just like, oh, I hate you, you fucking bitch. Like, I was telling myself this as I'm listening to us talking. I'm like, you fucking idiot. What is the fuck wrong with you? You're lucky you have friends. Friend.
Yeah. That's...
Did I tell you that the guy that I used to work with in the military, he was like, I'll give your podcast another try. And he listened to it again. He was like,
another try?
Yeah. He listened to it once to like one of our early episodes and said that we cussed too much. And I was like, well, I told him no, he's just an older guy. But I mean, he was in the military.
Yeah.
Right? But I guess he's gotten a little bit back into the conservative world since he's gotten out. But I told him, I was like,
president cusses.
Right. Well, I told him, I said, we need to try it again. We've toned it down a bit.
That's funny. And what did he say?
He texted me. He was like, you fucking liar. Because he listened to it with his wife and his like 20-year-old son.
Well, his 20-year-old son's our prime target.
Absolutely. According to our demographics, we have a pretty close split between male and female in the 25 to 44-year-old range.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Which, by the way, and just because I'm curious about this, send it to our B3F shit or whatever. Like, I want to know what type of females listen to this podcast. Like, they have to be terrible people. My wife, well, she'd only, if I come home now, like, she doesn't listen usually, but if I come home and say it was a good episode, she'll listen to the episode, and she enjoys it usually.
So she doesn't listen to it if you don't tell her to.
Well, I don't know. Yes. No, well, she used to listen all the time because she was driving Eli back and forth to school, but he's not going to school now because that used to be like a 20-minute drive either way. So she doesn't listen to many podcasts. She listens to the news and some other shit, but she'll make a point to listen to it, I should say. Like, not that she never listens, but it's not on her regular rotation unless I say, hey, that was a really good episode, and then she'll listen, which she said that she liked the Reese Roper one, okay. She said she liked the episode with Ben better. She thought that was a really good episode.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah?
No, it doesn't. I don't. She's not really was never probably really into 5 Iron Frenzy or anything like that back then or now.
No, I mean, like, she knows the nostalgia's there, but she was never into the. She was very much like Pixies and The Cure and Pesh Mode and all that shit back in the day.
Okay, that's fine.
She was also allowed to listen to music that didn't talk about Jesus.
Right.
Oh, mosquito! Thanks, dude.
So demographic. Our biggest demographic, which is close, is 28 to 34-year-olds at 35%, and then 35 to 44-year-olds at 34%.
Right.
18 to 22 is 8%. 23 to 27 is 10%. 45 to 59, 2%, and 60 plus 2%.
That was probably my grandmother, the 2 episodes she listened to. Actually, she just watched it on YouTube, I think.
And we are 50% male and 42% female.
Oh, so it shifted. It was 45% female. Yeah. So we've lost
6% not specified and less than 1% non-binary.
Okay.
So
but for it to show up there, it means somebody, at least in that category, listened. That's strange. But yeah, so basically, you're all devil worshippers first and foremost.
For sure.
You know. But shit, yeah, like, I want to know what type of, probably people are like wives or some shit. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine many women that would sit down and just listen to this all over. Maybe there are. I mean, Joe Rogan's got female fans, and Adam Carolla, and Adam Carolla's a misogynist fucking cock.
Supposedly.
Yeah, well, on his, a lot of like his past stuff, The Man Show and all that shit.
You know, what's interesting is that people call The Man Show misogynistic, but they were almost always the butt of the joke.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
Well, it was talking about the exploitative stuff, like the girls jumping on the trampolines, like all that type of shit. The exploitation of boobs for profit, which is what the entire American entertainment industry is based on.
For sure. But I mean, if you really look at it nowadays, maybe they were ahead of their time in telling women that they could be empowered and do that. Maybe they're free the nipple first.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, my favorite thing that they ever did was they went out on the street and were, I guess, picketing, or not picketing, but whatever, getting people to sign a petition to end women's suffrage. Yeah. And women were signing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah. But again, that goes back to the misogyny, because they were doing it specifically to make women look stupid.
I don't think it was. I think they were doing it to make people, to show that, to make themselves look like idiots, but also to show that people really don't know what the hell it is.
Combination of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I feel like a lot of things that would happen on the Man Show, had we been our age now, back then, we would be doing some of the same things.
Probably.
Yeah. So that's what we should have named this, the Man Podcast.
The man cast.
Yeah. The Man Pod.
The Man Pod.
Yeah. No, anyway. God, I was fixing to say something. I don't remember what it was.
Oh,
but
shit.
anyway.
The tables have turned.
Yeah. Something I'm excited about, and I know you don't care one bit about, is SEC football started.
Yeah, you have it on the goddamn TV, which
Yes, I do.
means
It's
there's
muted.
going to be, as throughout the season of the foot sports, we're going to be having episodes, and I'm going to lose you from time to time, because you're going to be looking at the goddamn TV while.
Maybe. Have I looked at it yet?
Yes.
Once.
But you just asked.
I know. I wanted to know if you noticed or not, because I knew I had looked at it once. And
It's because I make eye contact with
quarter.
you a lot when we talk, and
no, you do not.
I just want to see those vinegar strokes.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, dude, we need to have a league. I want to watch the league again. I need to
cool with
tee it back up.
I've watched
Such
it
a
again.
great fucking show.
In the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So
Second harvests.
So I'm excited about, I say excited. Excited is too strong a word. I'm looking forward to the new season of Mandalorian that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. There is Bert Kreischer has a show coming on Netflix October 13th, so called The Cabin.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm interested in that.
Well, I had to rephrase that. I saw the tweet.
Yeah. No, I've seen the trailer.
I'm very
for it or
active
whatever.
on social media.
Are you? Yeah.
No.
So I'm kind of excited about seeing that. I like hearing the conversations when comedians hang out together. That's one thing I like about Joe Rogan's podcast, when a comedian is on, has just random conversation. I love hearing those kind of conversations. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. There's a show about the Comedy Store, I think, in L. I think it's about the Comedy Store. It's a docuseries coming out on Showtime. I'm excited about that. But I'll have you know that one night this week, late after everyone went to bed and I needed some me time, I jerked off, and then I watched the Miami Connection.
Oh shit!
I told you I had a surprise for you.
Oh,
I watched the
was
Miami
it as glorious
Connection.
as I said?
I had trouble with it.
Yeah. The musical numbers.
Oh my God. Because we're all friends forever.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was like the feel good movie of the 80s.
Yeah, but it made no sense.
No.
None of it made sense. Well, you know, the little Asian guy that was playing a young college student, he was probably in his 50s.
Right.
You know, he wrote, starred,
Yes.
directed, produced the whole thing.
Yep.
To bring the message of Taekwondo to America.
Or as the white guy in it called it, Taekwondo.
Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Oh, Friends for Eternity.
It was, Friends
Honesty,
for Eternity.
integrity.
Yeah. And the karate moves on their on-stage performance.
Yeah,
They're doing the karate moves.
absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Dude, okay. But how great was the beach scene? Like, that was the best part of the
I don't
movie.
even remember the beach scene. Like I said, I had
When they're
trouble.
cruising in the car, the music in the
Yeah.
background, and the dude's all with the mustache, no shirts, and they're like sexually harassing women.
I don't remember that one.
That's fine.
But I may have been looking at
But
something
that and the
else.
favorite part is like we wrote the White House. We found your dad.
Oh,
I forgive
dude,
you.
when that guy got the letter and the photo or whatever, and he just slowly walked away from his friends toward the camera crying, like, that was so bad.
I know.
So
there was
bad.
nothing good in that entire movie.
That was so bad. And when the guy in the final fight scene, when the white guy gets like
Spoiler alert.
chopped, when the white guy gets like chopped with a katana, and he's just like, no. I'm like, I don't know that that's how it works, because katanas were supposed to be like so sharp that
Right. But I'm telling you though, like in a list of really bad movies, it is not one of the worst movies you've ever seen.
I think that Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter may be better than that movie.
Oh, they are. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Miami Connection is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Which I feel now like we should have recorded us watching it and me watching it for the first time.
I'm not playing MST 3000 with you. Not happening.
Well,
do it by yourself. Release a solo podcast of
I will.
You being not.
You don't know. I may be recording one already, and
That's
just
fine.
you don't know about it.
I'm just telling not funny jokes over movies.
You sure? Look, I had 2 jokes last week. One got a laugh. The other one, you guys either didn't hear it or glossed right over it.
Oh, yeah?
So one, I wish I would have told differently. When you were talking about the 10-year-old getting pregnant, and I said, you haven't even had your quinceañera yet.
Oh, I got that one.
Yeah, you got that one, and you laughed at that one. That one, I got a laugh. I didn't get much out of Don for that one.
Yeah.
But there was another one when they were talking, one of you were saying something about, it had something to do with religion or something, and somebody said something about fucking people
I heard
or
you.
whatever,
Yeah.
and I said I didn't realize they were Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get anything from you guys on that one, which is fine. Whatever.
I ignored that one on purpose.
Yeah, well, whatever. I now the quinceañera one, I wish I would have, punching it up, I wish I would have said, you've not even been bat mitzvahed yet.
Right.
That's what I wish I would have said.
Okay.
But still.
Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We could go back and punch that in and just slap it over the episode really awkwardly.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
do you ever feel like we should do more editing and shit in post-production?
nope.
Yeah, me neither. I like the whatever.
So I'm a part of a couple of podcast groups on social media just to kind of see what people are doing. I also use that as a way to see people looking for guests and things like that to cross promote. But I see people ask all the time, how much...
Nobody ever wants to come on our podcast.
No. I see people all the time saying, how much time should I spend editing a 30-minute, 45-minute, hour-long podcast or whatever? Because it seems like it takes me forever. And I always comment on there, we edit nothing.
Right.
Like, there's maybe one thing that I can think of that has been taken out.
Could you imagine had I left that in and then all the stuff that happened?
I know. Well, I mean, they would have had... Your grandmother would have had to have listened to that episode.
Well,
maybe she
the way my sister teed that shit off.
Yeah. I don't know.
Regardless. I get to see her this weekend. It's coming up.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see your grandmother?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I'm not going to talk to her. Like, I've talked to her about it, and we've decided in true Massey tradition not to bring it up again. But
Can I
I'm
make
calling
you
my
a
sister.
T-shirt that says, "Hey, devil worshippers, I have a podcast"? Will you wear it if I make
Not
you?
to their house.
Oh, come on.
But no, my sister and I are going to have a conversation about this shit because
course.
she's bold-faced lied to me about this shit. So
I think you guys should settle this over a round of Mushunga.
I used to beat her ass at that game.
You did a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She cheats.
She cheats. I think you were just out of shape at one point, and she was not.
I'm still out of shape.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, at one point you were very out of shape.
Yeah,
and she was in the prime of like
Which
young
I've
adult
noticed, dude,
softball.
with the new job, I'm so sedentary. Like the gut is creeping back in, and I'm like, fuck me. But,
yeah, it's getting chillier outside at night now. I've got to lose some weight so I can fit back into my my red hoodie. So
I canceled the old CrossFit membership. It's fucking nixed.
Good.
Yeah, I'm done with that bullshit.
Well,
yeah.
How much of it did you actually do?
A couple weeks
Of CrossFit or just going there?
Well, it's a CrossFit gym. Like,
okay.
Yeah, so it was a couple weeks of
All
that.
right.
But then, like with the work schedule now and the traveling shit, it was just good excuses not to go. But I'm getting a membership at the gym down the street. And,
okay.
Because I was way more. Not committed is the wrong word. I was way more active at the gym when I didn't have to show up for a fucking class time. And that's what was getting me. Like, I didn't mind the workout, but it was, if the class starts at 6, you can't roll in at 6:10 because everybody starts at the same fucking time. Like, if I'm running late for the gym, who fucking cares?
It's CrossFit classes?
All CrossFit's classes.
I just thought they had a bunch of tractor tires laying around.
They have, right? They have
I got next, bro.
They have open gym times, but that's usually like one day a week. But yeah, I usually go in and they've session classes, and it's like a group, like boot camp-esque workout. And
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, if you can do it and you got the time and whatever, like for me, I fucked my back up the very first day. What? No, I did. Made me look, you fucking asshole.
Did make you look.
Dude, there were like 6-year-old women that were fucking like clean jerk and shit. Like I probably
Right.
wouldn't be able to do in 5 years. It was stupid how strong. It was.
Well,
Anyway, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be done with that and not feel the pressure. Even though the company was paying for it, I was still in my brain like money is going to this, like,
Sure.
and I'm not using it. So
yeah.
yeah. No, I'm joining. I joined the Y.
So, speaking of, have you seen the video clip from the end of one of Trump's rallies? And they always play some song at the end while everybody cheers or whatever, which there's no one there, so it's just TV screens of people cheering.
Right, which is so weird.
Which, side note, I saw a clip of one of the Democrat rallies, and they had all these screens with all these people that they're cheering on, and someone paused it and pointed out, and they had like 5 people were on 5 different screens, like repeats of people, and I thought that was funny. But anyway, regardless, Trump, the rally ends, and the music starts playing. It's fucking YMCA. YMCA is playing over, and he's kind of dancing away. And I think it's an interesting song to play at the end of a presidential rally.
He was friends with Epstein.
Okay, sure. But I wonder if he knows that was like a dog whistle for gay men to go have sex
I don't know.
with the young men.
I don't know. I don't think most people think of it that way, though.
I think
No, people like you and I do.
smart people do.
Smart people are at least aware of it, maybe.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people. I've talked to people, and they're like, "No, that song's not about." I was like, "No, that song's about banging like pubescent, whatever, like
Right.
young
Banging
dudes."
twinks at the Y.
Right.
Right. No, so someone reached out to the black guy from what the hell was the name of that? The Village People, who was straight.
Right.
I think he was the only straight one, but anyway.
At least at the beginning of the band's career.
And asked him about it, and he was like, I think people want to use that song. If he wants to use that song, that's fine. People hear the song or whatever, and it was like a half-ass endorsement of Trump, which was interesting as well. But anyway, I just thought it was funny that Trump at the end of his rally and YMCA starts playing. Like,
Because
how
almost
many rednecks.
every artist that exists right now, most rednecks don't fucking know what it's about. It's a party song.
I don't know, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. Not as many people think you know
so
that
many
as they
people,
think you do.
so many people that I grew up with just thought that was the gayest song ever.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean they knew what it was about.
And I think most people know that the Village People were predominantly gay.
I don't think that mean people pay that much attention. I really
Maybe
don't.
not, but I just would expect most of his fans, especially in the South, to be expecting like some Kid Rock or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Bond, whatever.
Ba with the ba,
Ba with the ba.
da bang, diggy, diggy, diggy.
Which, weirdly enough,
the boogie?
he's turned into like a decent artist with his last few records. Like after he got away from Yes Rock.
Like
yeah.
Ba with the ba slaps. that song was not bad. Like when that song came out, I was like, okay, so this is what like rap and rock maybe should sound like together, maybe. But anyway, I just remember when it came out, I was working at Walmart, and I was, 18, 19 years old. And one of the assistant managers at Walmart was a young guy, but he was older than me, but he was young.
Was he down with the ball to ball?
He fucking loved that shit. He used to play it in the electronics section of Walmart. Like he would put it on the CD player and play it, the edited version. Obviously, it was Walmart, but still.
Well, on a road trip while I was driving around with the last company, I went on a kick. I would get so bored driving. I was like, I'm going to pick some artist that was popular when we were younger, maybe still has a career or
Limp Bizkit?
whatever. No, I did. I went through like Kid Rock's whole album or his catalog, and I listened to all of it. And I was like, there's some good shit. Some of it's fucking garbage, and it got progressively better. But like his 2 big breakout albums were so bad, so bad. But I did that. I think I went
his
through Nickelback.
style changed though from that first and second album on. It kind of
we have more rock like Southern. He's
Right.
pretty much Southern rock now. That's
Yeah.
what he does. You know, his version of his twist on Sweet Home Alabama is a song for the ages.
It's insane to me how many Southern women, 50s and older, are in love with Kid Rock.
That's because they're down with the ball to ball.
Ba with the ba, not ball to ball.
I'm saying ball to ball.
Well, you are wrong, sir.
I know I'm wrong.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't like they longed to be Sheryl Crow in that music video.
Right? No, he looks like David Spade fucked a ferret.
A little bit, yes. A little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Regardless.
Yeah.
So I had to take a Lyft today to go pick up my car. My wife had a procedure done at the hospital yesterday, so I had to leave the car there. It was an impromptu procedure, so no planning.
Like a chairlift?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get in the car. This is an old guy. He's like 60s, maybe even 70s, regardless. And have you noticed all the Biden-Harris signs on my road? There's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know which direction you come in
Goddamn
from.
liberal neighborhood.
So as soon as the Biden-Harris signs went up, one of my neighbors way on down the street put up a Trump 2020 flag.
Of course.
Flag, not sign, flag.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get in the car, and I say, hey to the guy, and the guy goes, there sure is a lot of Biden signs in your neighborhood.
Oh, my God.
He said, I noticed there's not one in your yard. I said, yeah, I don't get down with that or something like that. And he was like, well, that's good. And he goes, I said, yeah, I don't really get it. And he was like, what, you don't get signs in your yard or you don't get Biden?
Right.
And I was like, well, both, really. And I said, honestly, no, I don't get either candidate. Like, I don't get the being like stoked for either candidate, but I definitely don't get putting a sign for who you're voting for in your yard. And he was like, oh, okay.
It's to convince your neighbors.
Yeah, sure. And that's what I said. It's like everyone that's going to vote for one of them knows who they're voting for at this point. You're not convincing anyone. No one's jumping ship and crossing over at this point.
No one's even talking to someone else that has a different opinion at this point.
For the most part, and that's an interesting thing, which you said on the last episode, and I was talking to my wife about this general conversation about political affiliation, was like, no one surrounds themselves. No one has friends anymore, especially people younger than you and than the two of us, that have differing opinions on things.
Right.
Like, it just don't.
It's stupid.
It is stupid. I was like, why wouldn't you? Half of the shit that you and I bicker is still, I was going to say argue, but we don't really argue, but I'd say bicker. About. Even that feels too strong. I think it's more of just poking at each other.
I feel bicker's accurate.
That's fine. But half of the shit.
No, it's not.
Half of the shit you and I bicker about, like, I'd say is 35% of the fun of the relationship.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, I'll give you that. Well, I don't know, but I think
it's nice seeing the other person get worked up on something.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
well, see, that's the thing, though. Other than this whole hard line of if your opinion is different than mine, you're wrong and you're a bad person.
Sure.
On top of that, people are so sensitive, like they don't want to be made fun of, and like I don't know, it's like, oh, why are you being you're hate speeching me? And it's like I'm calling you out for being a dick. You know, it's not the end of the world, man.
Hate speeching me. Ugh.
I know, but I'm just
Bigot's
saying.
another one I hate hearing because people use it wrong.
Well, if you're a Republican,
sure. Well, yeah. If you're conservative or Republican, you're considered a bigot, which is an interesting thing. And I had an argument with my brother and sister about this, and they said something about bigot, and I was like, yeah, well, I mean, you're a bigot too. Like, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm anti that. I was like, yeah, that makes you a bigot.
Yep.
You're a
bigot against bigotry.
You have a strong opinion against this particular thing.
Yeah.
So I'm a bigot against your opinion, and you're bigoted against mine.
Right.
We're both bigots.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's weird though. I think it has been more prevalent, but a lot of it is with kind of what we mentioned last time. This whole the social media construct that we've made, and our personal information being such a commodity, and being able to sell that, all you're fed is the same shit.
Yeah.
And because and a lot of it's our fault and our parents' fault is like the discipline gets less. Like there's never been like the hurt feelings thing is a big deal to a lot of people. Like they want their feelings hurt. They should never be treated badly or be told no or whatever the fucking case may be. And yeah. And I feel like a lot of it started with, I consider us Gen X more than millennials, but I guess wherever you want to call it. But like the Gen Xers, and I guess this is the area I identify with more, so it makes more sense to me. We're kind of the ones that are like, you know what? Like, kind of look around and be like, this American dream shit is fucking some bullshit, man. It's like there's all these other things it could be doing. The value is all money. It's kind of was like the first like kind of what do they call it? The forgotten generation, because everybody was like, yeah, fuck these guys over here. But I think because of a lot of that anti-establishment or anti-man and the having passion.
Damn the man.
Yeah, well, not just that, but like having passion in what you do and all that shit kicked off the fuck where we are now.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, the hurt feelings thing kills me.
Yeah.
And like I get it to a point, but it puts like as much. We're both assholes. We would agree on the fact that we're both assholes for the most part. But generally, we're not mean-spirited assholes, right? Like for the most part. Like,
we don't set out to hurt most people's feelings.
Right.
Some people that we feel deserve it, we set out for that. But
well, then, even for me, I don't necessarily try to hurt their feelings, but I try to find that raw spot and poke at it until, to me, it's good to be offended, even if you don't want to be offended. Because it makes you, because if you're offended, you're having to think about something.
Sure.
Whether you take the opportunity to process it or not. But anyway, it's very difficult sometimes when it starts in the social climate that we're in and wanting to do something like we're doing and then potentially causing issue. Like we've had a couple times now where we've had to make some changes based on guest requests, whatever, that we didn't have to do, but we did, and to me, it's kind of like finding a balance. And they've both been, well, one was kind of a friend, but whatever. But like the other was a friend, right? And I didn't want to dick him over.
Sure.
Like had it not been for that relationship, I wouldn't have cared in that instance.
Sure.
Because that's a totally different thing. Because it was a very small change. And it was enough to be like, okay, he's a friend of ours. I don't want to fuck him over with anything. So sure, it's a small thing. But I was still at the point after the other incident, if he would have been like, oh, I want you to take that down, I'd be like, sorry, dude, it stays,
Yeah.
But it's a precarious.
Even though he didn't sign a release.
Well, we gave it to him. We just never.
No, we didn't.
We didn't.
No, you.
We got to get better about that shit.
Nothing.
Yeah, you brought it. You brought it with us.
I did bring it.
Did you?
It's your guest.
Jesus Christ, we're in the same room at the same time. You brought it with us.
The last guest that we had on here that was yours, not counting Reese, you sent him the release, but you didn't press him for it.
Yeah.
But when he came in here, you point blank said, it's Ben. He didn't have to sign it.
Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did. And you'd have done the same thing to Don.
Yeah. So, which we've gotten one person to sign it so far.
Yes.
That was one of your guests, right?
No, it was Hunter, and I made him sign
Hunter.
it.
Oh yeah, well he's Hunter. He's gonna do what we're his daddies that he never had, so he does what he's told.
Sure. Hunter, go ahead. Finish what you were talking about, people being offended, and I'll make a note.
I was just saying to the degree, and this gets talked about all the fucking time, but and to me, I guess a lot of the angle that's taken is like, well, people are just babies now. People are blah, blah, blah. But I think a lot of the emphasis gets taken away. It's important to be offended.
Yes.
The reaction to that offense right now is what I think the problem is. But like being the easily offended is a great opportunity for those fucking people to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I feel like the people that were offended by one of our last episodes, you just suck it the fuck up. So if
what people was that?
What's that?
What people was that?
I'm being nice right now because of that situation. I'm just saying, but if they're listening and they know
people were offended. My bad. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So if any of that conversation, you guys need to be fucking adults. Suck it the fuck up. That's all I'm saying about it.
Is it friends?
Joey. I know what you're doing here. I ain't biting. Again, on behalf, because we have a friend and we're trying to be nice to our friend.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you text me and told me that you changed the name of the episode to appease, the thing, and I felt like I didn't get it across very well, but I was in the middle of coming out of a conference call. Yeah, that too. God, that would make life so much easier.
Right.
Do you realize how much? And I know someone's going to listen to this and be like, you think it's easy to be gay? And today, sure.
Depending
10, 20, 30, 40 years ago? No.
It depends on where you live, though.
Okay, where we live here in Knoxville, it'll be so much easier.
Yeah.
I think, God, can you imagine if, aside from we would argue a lot, if we were just married to each other, like,
yeah.
I think life would be easier.
No.
I think it would. Or no, anyway.
I get on your insurance.
Yeah, I got some pretty good insurance.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing that bothered me because, and I didn't get the point across in text message, which is hard to get a good point across in a text message anyway, but is that I had this feeling that someone was butthurt, and that bothers me.
Yeah.
When grown people get butthurt, that just bothers me. And
I agree.
And I want to tell every one of them. And this was not directed at Dawn because I had this feeling that it was not Dawn.
No, not
it was
at all.
someone else that was butthurt. And I want to tell people like that, get the fuck over it.
Right.
You're a grown up.
Yeah. Well, okay. So yeah, along those lines, I agree. Like I understood where Don was coming from 100%. And he has a business to run and he has to take care of that. No.
I completely agree with changing.
No. What I'm let me finish, you fucking interrupting cock. This is why we would not be a good married couple.
Or you realize how much you interrupt people on this podcast?
Oh, I never interrupt people on this podcast.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was going to say, like, I understood with where he's coming from and he has a business to run and shit like that. But I still was like, it sucks that he had to. Mm-hmm. You know, to be in that position fucking sucks. Especially to be a business owner, to talk about the problems that they have within an industry.
Sure.
Because he never once said, like, one of my barbers sucks or one of my barbers is flaky. The joke was they were flaky because none of them fucking showed up. And that conversation led into, as an industry, there's a lot of fucking flaky people there. But we've talked about also the age group being flaky as far as showing up to events.
For sure.
We said nothing about the quality of the work. Actually, he said multiple times how great his staff was.
Well, you did too.
Right. But I mean, he even did though, but he said how great their staff was, that they're great at their jobs, and they are. They're all fantastic people.
Right.
They just fucking suck at showing up for social events outside of that. And whatever. But again, they don't know us that well, but like, you know, because I think at one point one of them said, I think it was Hannah, the barber there, because I said, fuck Hannah on the thing. She was like, I didn't appreciate being singled out. And I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that type of bullshit. And I was like, fucking grow the fuck up.
Well,
like, I get it.
Her problem is
and I'm
that
just
she's
singling her
young
out. I'm singling her out again.
Looking, so.
Yeah, well, but then at the same time, one of the other guys, again, a lot of them just don't know us or where we're coming from. And so, like, I understand it, but you know, after it gets explained, I'm like, oh, okay, they weren't being.
You realize how off-putting we are to people?
We're very off-putting.
I don't get it.
If I met us, I'd be like, I found my soulmates.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, okay, but I think a lot of people are inwardly like we are, but they're not outwardly. Or at least they are in real. See, we'll be honest about the fact that we're selfish, we're opinionated, and we have our circle of things. Now, I'm always open to outside influence, 100%.
Yeah.
And as are you. We've talked about that. But we'll both admit that we're selfish assholes as opposed to thinking these thoughts and then being like, oh, no, I'd never do that. Like, I'm offended. Like, I guarantee you some of those people or anybody, they'll talk mad shit about somebody behind their back. It's just not on a podcast or on whatever the fuck else it is. And I'm unashamed. Like, if I fucking think you're being stupid, I'll fucking say you're being stupid, you know? Yeah. But I expect the same. Like, how often, like, we're fucking assholes to each other on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you are, but I mean.
What were you going to say?
I find little shitty things that you say to me sometimes. I say fine at the beginning of things, and I leave it in for the video so that everybody's like, wow, he really does treat him like shit.
Do you really? I need to watch the videos.
It's just little things here and there. We're like, are you fucking ready? Are you ready? It's just little shit like that.
I had no idea.
I leave it in the video. I'm like, yeah, I might get a couple people on my side.
So that's how you get that. Okay, that's some dirty pool there, you motherfucker.
Oh, you leave shit in there on the audio sometimes.
No, I've never once. No, I haven't.
But I'm not shitty towards you is the thing. But you do leave shit in there that you think is funny that I'm doing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or not funny, haha, but funny like. Yeah.
We don't edit anything though. Like, so what can I leave in there?
No, but I mean, we definitely cut some of the beginning of something out. I assume you do. I do. I cut some
I do
stuff
a
out.
little bit, not much.
Yeah.
But
I have more that I have to cut out because we start.
But that's fucking funny, dude. That's bravo to you, because that way people are watching. They're like, they might think these guys are both terrible, but fucking that Steven asshole. He is a fucking pretentious diva douche.
Which I'll say, now that you've changed all of our videos to 18 and up, I got a feeling we won't get as many views, because I think that we don't get a lot anyway, but I think that some people may not have a YouTube account that watch our videos.
Well, there's no reason for them not to if they're fucking over 18.
Well,
Well, the other thought was, so other than the whole fucking debacle with the family, outside of that, my thought process is, and I know what you're going to say before you say it, but like, I don't know, some fucking like 8-year-old kid with their parents' fucking phone, like looking up, like an 8-year-old, like, or I'll say lyrics age. Well, let's just say lyrics age. So 12 years old.
You don't think those kids need to hear what we have to say?
And look up some cosmetology shit, and something about waxing comes up, and then all of a sudden they're seeing my ass laying on the table like, goddamn motherfucking cunt.
But you didn't feel that way when the episode came out.
I didn't think about it.
Okay.
And then, but after the thing with my grandmother, I was like, oh, fuck, this would be really easy to stumble across. Like, granted, she was shown specifically, but
sure.
I don't know. It just got me thinking. But
so what do you think I'm going to say? Since you say, I already know what you're going to say.
Oh, no, just about that their parents should be fucking paying attention to what they're goddamn watching on YouTube.
That's exactly right.
I fucking know.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's not our responsibility to watch out for those other kids.
It's not.
So.
But mostly it was because I didn't want my grandmother and shit to go back on there and dick with it. That's, you know that.
I know.
I'm just saying, I'm not ashamed.
That's fine.
And it's not because I don't want her to have hurt feelings. It's because I don't want to deal with the fucking aftermath.
No, I understand.
Because this will be the first trip back this coming
weekend.
Here's
the thing. I need you to do this.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if I want to say it out loud.
Oh.
You have family members that listen.
Just my dad.
Okay.
Well, if my sister does now, fuck her. She's on my shit list.
I need you to take your phone, not video. Doesn't have to be video. But I need you to roll tape on conversations that you have.
Okay.
About the podcast.
Okay.
With people in your family.
If it comes up. Because my grandmother's very much but
sweep it under the rug kind of person.
Like we've talked about it may not come back up. But no, the conversation with my sister, I'm planning, I was thinking about actually just going and get one of the little cheap pocket recorders you can still get, so I don't have to use up space on my phone that I use for precious things like apps.
Well, all you got to do is record it and then immediately upload it onto the drive.
Yeah, that's true.
But regardless.
So yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
If I remember, I will do it.
And the way we get around it is by playing it on the air and not saying who it is.
Yeah.
So
why would I not say who it is?
Well, I don't know. Because they didn't give permission to be on here.
They gave permission by being my family.
That's not how it works.
I'm aware.
Anyway, so oh God,
this is somebody that came out of the same vagina as I did, but we're not going to mention any names.
You hope,
right? I don't care. What else you got?
Did you see where Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On" replaced the Beatles as the #1 album of all time?
No.
Rolling Stone.
Good for him.
Yeah,
good for him. I'm sure he'll really enjoy that accolade.
And there's a couple. I think there's a couple other ones that popped in there, but it's an
mount that award on his goddamn headstone.
Right. It's interesting, like how all of a sudden some of these albums like that are now being called the best album of all time.
Right.
It's been out for a long time.
Right.
What made it better?
It's
than the Beatles album. I'm not saying it's not better. I don't know which one's the better album.
Part of that is going by sales, obviously, right? And if
I don't think so, but
if it's beating out the Beatles as #1 album of all time, is it sales? Like, what is that based on?
I think it's Rolling Stone deciding what album is the best. Rolling Stone's fucking pretentious.
Yeah. Oh, if it's just a decision, like
I'm not 100% sure that's what it is because I didn't read it. I just saw it.
Right.
But
so you're headline jumping.
No. Well,
yeah.
Partially.
Yeah, you fucking are.
Partially.
So it just depends on, because right now I can see the shift, because with the climate socially shifting it from 4 white dudes to a black guy, right? That makes a lot of sense as far as their readership and what they're doing. Like, I get that. If they're based off of sales, I don't fucking know. Maybe
If they're basing it off of sales, sure, I completely get. But what do you think about just handing out something like that if it's not based off of sales, just strictly on opinion, handing out something like that because of the social climate?
No, I think it's stupid.
Okay,
But for a magazine, they're going to make money. I mean, they're going to appease their demographic, or try to expand their demographic, however that may be. And like when you get into those type of organizations, shit, all that stuff is so calculated. It's not like when you see like, oh, we got this great scoop for this week's story.
Well, I feel like Rolling Stone is sort of, they'll be around forever just because they're Rolling Stone, but I feel like they're kind of dying. The people that used to really get into Rolling Stone, I don't think do that anymore. Like you and I really enjoyed Rolling Stone.
Well, they've changed their format. They don't come out every month now.
Sure, but I'm just saying. So I think that some things that they do, like this and other articles that they have, are a desperate grasp to stay relevant and popular with a younger crowd now.
I don't think so. I think they've really expanded. Like they've done well morphing and shaping. They're still fucking hugely popular. Rolling Stone is.
I just feel like their morph and shape is to reach this younger audience by taking social stances,
and they're doing well.
They're doing well reaching, but I don't think that it's genuine. That's what
I know. It's not genuine. It's money. It's all money. Nothing's genuine.
Yeah. Okay.
There's not one piece of media in this world except for the fucking King James version of the goddamn Bible that's fucking
not even the new
genuine.
King James.
Oh no, fuck that.
Huh. Well,
1611 only, bitch. I want the Apocrypha with my King James version.
I'm more of a New International Version guy.
Yeah. Bunch
or
of
a New Living Translation.
Bunch of pot-bellied lesbians wrote your Bible.
Yeah.
I heard a preacher say that.
Pot-bellied lesbians.
Pot-bellied lesbians wrote your Bible, not the fucking
speaking
New International Version.
I have to make a note for something for myself.
Yeah, but I think we've talked about that, though. I always find it funny because there's a specific group of Baptists, and there's a couple of denominations, but I believe they're Baptists, and I can't remember which sect of the Baptist church it is. But they're hardcore. They will say it's only 1611 version is the only inspired word of God.
You're the only person I've ever heard say 1611 version.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the original KGB. I think it's. I'm going to laugh if I've been throwing out the
original KGB.
KJV.
Thank you very much, because you just said something just a moment ago that reminded me of a joke that I thought of earlier, and I couldn't write it because I was driving.
Okay.
And you reminded me of that. So thank you.
1611 King James Version. So, and it's fucking hard to read because it's spelled like stupidness. But the original version was the Apocrypha was included, and most, pretty much any Protestant denomination will deny the Apocrypha as being inspired word of God. So I've always found that to be funny.
Okay.
Like whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. As much as I hate to do this, I'm about to piss all over the place. So let's take our break now.
Okay.
And then we'll come back.
Hey, everybody. We'd like to take a minute to tell you about a really cool podcasting app called Stitcher Premium.
Yeah, Stitcher Premium is, like you said, a free app, and they've got everything you could look for: true crime, comedy, pop culture, The Office ladies. I think Conan O'Brien's podcast is on there. There's lots of things on there.
And archives of all those things.
Oh, yeah. And smart lists.
Yeah, the smart lists. That's what I was about to say, you fuck. Smart lists basically will watch what you're listening to, or listen to what you're listening to, use some fancy algorithms, and make recommendations on shit that you already like.
Yeah, so if you go to Stitcher.com/premium and use the code B3F, you can get a month free. So it's $4.99 a month, or $34.99 if you pay for a full year. But use the code B3F and you'll get a free month.
Check it out.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yep.
We're back. You're writing shit down.
We're back. I am writing shit down.
Why do you write things down? Hey, I know.
Because I
see what
remember
you're
shit.
So do I. It's a steel trap up here, dude.
Yeah. Right. So I was thinking about something just a moment ago. You said something outside that made me think of this, and I don't remember what you said, but so you know the Emmys were last weekend, maybe?
Something like that.
And Schitt's Creek was his show, and I don't watch it. My sister and my wife watch it and love that show.
Right.
You want some more?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay. And it basically just swept every category it was in.
Really?
I hear it's a really funny show.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah. But
Amanda says I would like it, but I haven't tried it yet.
and I kind of feel the same way. I just watch so many other things that I just don't want to bring anything else into the mix. But anyway, so the network, Jimmy Kimmel said this on the thing because he hosted, and that the network made them every time they said the name of the show, Schitt's Creek, they had to pop up on the bottom of the screen the logo for the show.
Oh, wow.
The standards and practices
That's
made them do that.
ridiculous.
Yes, and that something you said outside made me think of that.
That's crazy town.
But anyway,
The world, man. It's the world.
well, I mean, it's like
I like the cut on your wrist, too. You almost just decided to
no,
end it.
well, that's what happens when
You don't cross the
that's
street,
what
dude. You go up it.
happens. That's what happens when work decides you're too much of a pussy to do it yourself. And then work's like, just let me do this shit for you. No, what was it? Meg on Family
South Park?
Guy said, no, Family Guy. Asshole. What did she say? Horizontal for attention, vertical for results, or something like, something like that.
Yep. You know, I was excited for a minute. I thought maybe I'm finally going to get you out of my life.
Yeah, that's what it was. You just keep poking. Every time I have to edit another video, it gets a little deeper.
I think I told it was Clayton. I told him one time like he'd done some shit. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get I'm gonna fucking kill myself, and I'm gonna hold a note in the video that says, "This is your fault, David Clayton."
Because he's such a nice guy, he would take that to heart.
Oh yeah, he would laugh because he was like a final joke, but then he'd be like really upset about it.
Yeah. So no, I mean, you know the large like bronze staples that they put stuff together.
Yeah,
Like not put stuff together, but like the staple boxes closed and they ship them out. Like those things,
which is putting things together.
Yeah. It's closing things, but regardless, but those things, like if you're not careful, because I'm around those things all day long,
They're gonna jump out and get
they
you.
will jump out and grab you.
Funny about remembering things. I had something just out there that I said I was going to talk about, and I completely forgot about what it is.
Yeah, steel trap, man.
Steel trap.
Jesus.
Well, it's a steel trap.
Sure.
But it's got a hole in the bottom because all the brown staples aren't holding it together.
That's fine. So I want while you don't remember it,
Yeah, it's not going to come back
no, I know
unless
it's
you
not.
say something we said outside that re-triggers. But
I don't know.
you'd think I smoked way more weed than I actually ever have.
I think it's probably the pills.
Yeah.
Probably the pills.
Yeah.
Mixed with the booze.
Not currently the pills.
No.
but
I
all
mean, then
Yeah.
it did damage. That
and a
will
lot of it.
never
Well,
come
and
back.
how many concussions have I had in my life? A lot. Like since
At least 2.
Oh no!
I know.
Since me and Amanda have been married, I've had like 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
So domestic abuse does go the other way.
Right. Oh man, yeah, dude. It's been I've had multiple concussions.
So I wanted to ask you about Hunter's new business.
Who?
Yeah. Hunter started a not production company, but more like an advertising.
Is setting
type
up a
company.
Twitter account considered starting a business?
He was at least for a couple of days pretty active on Facebook, and he was interviewing 2 people to work for him on commission.
Of course.
Sure. But, and I don't remember, let me see if I can find it, but I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Elf Ear Media.
Yeah, I
or
saw
something
that.
like that. But
So it's funny because we give him shit, but he is kind of a friend of the show anyway, and he's not I wouldn't hang out with him on a weekend, but
Right.
we give him shit. But he's a cool dude.
he has a very generic photo as his page. Elf Ear Media LLC. I wonder if he actually filed paperwork for
Or
an
he
LLC.
just calls
or if
it
he's
an
just
LLC.
calling himself LLC. But
Which we need to do that, by the way, before
do.
we get a fucking lawsuit on our asses about some shit.
so here's a post. Actually, good Lord. Wow. Whew, I could read all day long. Here's a post. Social media is the key to getting to your clients, customers, and future fans. Here's another. Advertising helps a business to earn profits by enabling more people to know about the products and services and thus resulting in more sales.
So he's just
Advertisements help the consumers to make decisions regarding which product and service to buy. With the help of advertisements, a consumer gets the best possible options. Parentheses, so let's get you started today.
Because
I need to know. I guarantee you that's copy and pasted from a website somewhere.
What I was about to ask you. So, in other words, he just says in several sentences what everybody knows that advertising already is.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know if you advertise, more people will notice what you're doing?
Yeah. So evidently
which we're really bad at. Maybe we should hire him.
COVID-19 is something that is hurting small business. Advertising in a time like this is now more important than ever. And the best way to reach your customers and future clients is with social media. Every age group, demographic, and person uses some type of social media. Let us help you find
False.
them. Work on your punctuation.
Most babies do not have Facebook pages.
If you want your business to really succeed, you need a social media presence now more than ever. Look,
these are all the same thing. These are all the same fucking posts.
All right, so here, look, props for starting your own thing and trying to do something.
Yeah,
for sure. But wait a minute. Why have we not been asked to come on his podcast?
Oh yeah, on any of his podcasts.
Now, is he even doing a podcast anymore? Because I haven't seen anything about a new episode in weeks.
He's got like 4 or 5 episodes on.
Has he?
Spotify.
I've only seen him promote like 2 or 3
because he's Hunter.
But anyway, yeah.
If he doesn't have a hot girl bankroll on him, it's not going to last long.
That's true. Yeah,
which is what I
he
dissected.
Used that picture multiple times.
Yeah, which is what I dissected from him talking about the elf ear collectibles and how that probably went down. Jesus Christ! Looks like a tiny potato gun shooting an earth.
It does, doesn't it?
Pew 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 pew.
Oh God! All right, let me close that out.
They just completely ruined Ultra. I had back what I was going to say too until that happened.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, no, that's what I was going to say. Is like, what do you think about this new business Hunter's doing? Maybe we should hire him.
Maybe. I mean, God knows we don't advertise for shit.
Maybe we put him on commission.
Oh.
Do you think he's just using bots?
No.
You don't think so?
I think he's trying to take advantage of other people to do work for him for free.
I'm just mean,
like
do you think his company's using bots to get people more listens and thus
I don't
making
know.
money?
I don't think Hunter's got the know-how to set up bots
Maybe
for that type of thing. No, what I'm curious about, this is how I picture this going down. I have this podcast. I want to get more people to listen to this podcast. I need to advertise this podcast. I can't afford advertising for this podcast. I'm going to set up a company that's an advertising company. I'm going to hire 2 people on commission and get them to start with my podcast to get some experience. And then maybe we can do other podcasts. So it's just free shit for him.
I'll tell you what, Hunter, because I know you're listening, if you want to do some advertising for us, that way you can take all those numbers and show them to future clients, feel free.
We'll be a case study.
We will be a case study.
We'll volunteer our time to be a case study. Even if it requires doing an occasional fucking Zoom meeting with your tank top covered ass.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Or if
strategy,
you need us to
strategy meetings.
If you need us to talk to future clients.
Yeah. I mean, because we basically made your career. Nobody thought you were funny until you came on this podcast. Let's all be real.
Oh God. Yeah. So anyway, but that will
honestly, okay, let me tell you, I'm gonna say something nice about Hunter. So
Oof.
Yeah, I know. This is a little bit painful, but
all right.
I feel like other than the fact that he's fucking Hunter, with enough like he's got some good ideas along the way. He just smokes way too much weed and drinks way too much alcohol. But I feel like,
and we just sent him away from us with tons of alcohol.
I know, because we're good enablers. But I feel like though, if he can straighten some of that shit out. Like he's a talented enough, creative enough kid. I feel like he could be successful in something like this, but not where he is right now. But you don't agree?
No, I'm just kidding.
You just always look for an excuse to use that one. But no, but I feel like he's got some good ideas and he's a pretty creative guy. He just he fucks himself over.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
I see a little bit
analysis.
of myself in him.
Do you?
That was before I spit on his back and sent him home.
That's what I was going to say. I see a lot of yourself in him. Oh God, no. So that about his new business, I wondered what you thought about that. But then that led up to the question, which I already asked, is why haven't we been invited on his podcast?
I don't know.
I get why he wouldn't ask us on his wrestling podcast.
Why?
Come on.
I know names.
Do you really want? Would you want?
I can say things like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Jake the Snake Roberts. I can say names.
But do you know how many different characters Mick Foley played?
Doesn't matter. I know the name
I'm
Mick
just
Foley.
kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I mean I'm just saying. Like if I were doing a wrestling podcast, I wouldn't want to bring two people on that were going to make so much fun of it and be so much funnier. And all right, I know anyone listening that doesn't know us, that sounded extremely conceited.
You're being so socially conscious right now.
No. I'm just saying, like, that sounded extremely conceited.
Oh, it was.
Is it conceit if it's true?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Or is it confidence?
It can be both.
Okay.
You can tuck all that in together.
You can tuck confidence and conceit together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I just know.
Why are you asking me that?
No. I just know someone that doesn't think you can.
Who?
That I don't want to say. Because I don't want to go down the path you've been down.
Oh, it's your wife.
No. My wife doesn't listen to this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No. But I know someone that all confidence they see as conceit.
Ah.
All confidence is conceit.
Okay, I know who this is.
Okay. Who?
I don't know.
Oh.
I could take some guesses, especially since it's a potential like family type of thing. So,
okay.
That's how you implied it anyway. It may not be family related whatsoever, but
okay. Anyway,
no, they can be the same thing, but they are not always the same thing.
I don't think they can be the same thing, but I think they can be simultaneous.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've covered everything I brought to the table. What have you got tonight?
I've brought all kinds of shit to the table.
You had something you were going to surprise me with, and maybe you already have. Not surprise, but like a topic. Just a moment ago outside, you started to say something. You said, you know what, I'm going to save it. Because I was taking a piss when you said that.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, dude.
I know. I knew you weren't going to remember it.
No, I mentioned it. I said, well, never mind. And I talked to you, and I said it. I don't remember what it is now, but I said it out there 10 minutes ago.
Okay. No, that's fine.
What were we talking about? What did I say
don't
after that? Exactly. You don't pay attention to me.
I don't think you said anything after that until I sat down, and then we started talking about something else.
I don't fucking know.
Fine. All right.
I like that. That's when you wrapped up. That's when you wrapped up one topic. Want to go another? So you'll go. All right.
Yeah, because it's like let's use news for example. Like I pick news stories, not stuff that I think you're going to like, but not stuff that I think you're going to dislike. Occasionally, stuff I think you're going to dislike.
Right.
But for the most part, and it's the news stories are not to impress you or gain your approval, but it's just, hey, these are some things that are out there in the news. We'll talk about it. And if you don't care, you give nothing. And that's not what we're here for. We have to have an opinion on everything.
Nah. Well.
Yes.
Okay.
Again.
I'm listening right now. I was just looking. Chattanooga was trending on Twitter, and I was seeing what the fuck it was. It was because there's a bear loose running around downtown Chattanooga.
You got a lion loose?
That's a bear running around downtown Chattanooga.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all. I was listening to you.
Okay. So
let's go.
This is from. Go ahead.
I'm kidding.
Oh. This is from MMAmania.com.
Okay. Sounds like a legitimate website.
Yeah. There's a report out that employees of Spotify have threatened to strike if Spotify refuses to censor Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Okay.
It's being called the $100 billion headache.
Why do they want to? Is it going to go into why they want to?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, it's not a long article, but UFC color commentator and podcasting deity Joe Rogan signed an exclusive multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify earlier this year. Of course, $100 million. But it seems not everyone associated with Spotify wants to be part of the experience. That's for to be captivating because it's called the Joe Rogan experience.
Yes, I get that.
Despite several
I did like the use of the word deity, though. That's actually pretty accurate in his podcast world.
Despite several internal meetings, select staffers were reportedly dissatisfied with the way senior management responded to Rogan's controversial material, which prior to finding its way to Spotify aired exclusively on the longtime Funny Man's YouTube channel. Not true. So that's not true.
Fake news.
Yeah. Spotify employees were demanding direct editorial oversight over the recently acquired JRE podcast. That would include the ability to directly edit or remove sections of upcoming interviews or block the uploading of episodes deemed problematic. The employees also demanded the ability to add trigger warnings, corrections, and references to fact-checked articles on topics discussed by Rogan in the course of his multi-hour discussions. Yeah, because his podcast can go anywhere from 2 to 5 hours. I think he did one with a guy recently that was like 5.5 or so hours.
Are they even giving this consideration?
I don't know. It's not. It doesn't say that in this article, and I don't know that Spotify's really spoken out about it yet. But
that's crazy.
Let's see here. Some of the group's demands have already been met by Spotify management, though a refusal to allow further changes is stirring talk of a high-profile walkout or strike.
But it doesn't say what demands were met.
It doesn't say what demands.
This is a bullshit article, man. Fuck you. This is actually potentially to be interesting to me.
Yeah, I understand that, but what am I supposed to do about it?
Like, fucking do research and find
how much articles. Fucking research do you do? I too.
You're bringing me the news, bitch. I'm not bringing you the news.
So much more actual work on this podcast.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Just because it takes longer to edit the video that you decided you want to do. What else?
It's not just that. How often do you bring news articles to the table?
Well, I quit because you mock my news articles.
How often do you get, and I know the answer, how often do you get things for Who's That Racist?
I've done it once.
Yes, that's why I'm holding up a
We've
1.
only played 3 times.
I'm 66% more than you. Or 200% more, depending on how you want to split it.
Okay.
Anyway. It says Rogan found himself in hot water last week after spreading misinformation about the Portland fires, but later used his platform to issue a lengthy apology. What more do you want? That said, part-time. Here's another.
Resign.
Here's another thing. I don't understand what this article. The person writing this article really did not do a ton of research on something. This is that said, the part-time comedian. He's not a part-time comedian.
Well.
He's not a part-time comedian. He goes and does comedy nearly every night during the week while he was living in L.A. He's moved to Austin now.
I'm sure they're referring to him being on tour. And
by the way, you're welcome. That's my last Coke.
Oh.
Okay. That said, the part-time comedian did not address the situation with Spotify or some of his more controversial guests.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't say what demands have been met.
I hate this so much.
You know, he supposedly came out with a half-ass endorsement of Trump.
Okay, I could see it.
I think it's not, I don't know what he said. I haven't tried to find it. But I would be willing to bet that it was more along the lines of, if I got to have one of the two, I guess I'd rather have Trump.
Right.
It's what I would bet if it were him. Because
Right.
I know he was a pretty big Bernie supporter.
Right.
So if you support Bernie at all, there's no way you like Trump.
Yeah.
Maybe you like him more than Biden, but regardless.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy to me too. Like, because it's not like Joe Rogan is a movie star.
No.
It's not like
He's one of the biggest names in comedy right
absolutely.
now. And definitely the biggest name in podcasting.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, though, but his role isn't one as a quote-unquote influencer of any kind. I mean, as a podcaster, yes, but it's a radio show. The whole thing of his show is he just talks to people about shit and talks about shit. He's not like preaching gospel. He's not a scientific, educational fucking thing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's stupid. I don't understand. Like right now, like I don't
understand getting worked up about anything like that.
I don't understand
Just
as an
don't
employee of
listen
a
to it.
company to start demanding, like if they were demanding, like because of they brought on Joe Rogan's podcast and because of that deal, everybody's salary is getting cut by 20%. Fuck yeah, pitch a fit, do a walkout.
Fine.
But because like,
Well, but even
what kind of goddamn world? I want to.
But even that, if your salary is getting cut a little bit right now to pay him the $100 million, you know he's going to be the biggest thing on your network.
Doesn't matter.
No, I'm perfectly fine with taking that cut, knowing that give it several months, it's going to bring in more.
If you have a choice, there's no guarantee.
Sure, there's no guarantee,
right?
But there's, I don't know.
But I'm saying like if you're going to come and say okay, because they're Spotify employees. These are people that are doing playlists, they're editing shit. They're not like corporate fucking members. It's from what it sounds like because the walkout wouldn't matter.
It's a bunch of young people.
Yeah.
That are fucking butthurt and don't want anything to possibly challenge the way they think.
Right. But my point is being that, being somebody in that position, like, again, if they came to me and gave me a choice, hey, we're going to pay this Joe Rogan thing, but it's going to cost you 20% of your salary. And I'm going to be like, fuck no.
Right.
Like, I'll take I think you work that out, but to demand, I mean, that's the only thing I could consider being applicable for that type of thing. But
I don't know. For me, it would depend on the situation like that. Cause I'm way more likely to take a pay cut and the gamble that he's going to bring something to the table than I'm going to then make more money.
Okay. But that's the thing though. If you're in a position,
it is no guarantee. I completely get
not just a guarantee, but you're also not at a level where these people are in like a corporate setting, so they could decide to funnel that money elsewhere. So you're taking this huge 20% is a huge fucking pay cut.
Yeah,
to do something like that with no guarantee that if the people above you on the largest fucking company that care about money more than you are going to ever divvy that back out. No, fuck that. I'm keeping my 20.
Yeah. Come see, come saw.
Yeah, right. Well, okay, but I mean, you're supporting a family. If you're the sole income winner and you guys
then you're stupid, but okay.
What do you mean stupid?
If you're the sole income winner. I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm just joking.
Yeah. All right, that's like, I know what you're saying is stupid. Anyway, but so if your livelihood of your family is depending on the fucking $60,000 a year you make, and you're suddenly dropping that by 20%, you've got like 3 kids, no, fuck that. Without a choice, no, that's a whole different fucking ball game.
Well, you have a choice. You have a choice.
You don't have a choice in them cutting your income is what I'm talking about. You have the choice whether to stay or to go, but if you don't have the choice in them changing your salary.
Sure. No, I get it. But I think that would be pretty unlikely that they would bring on somebody and say, hey, we're cutting everyone's income to
I know. I'm just saying, but
I get what you're saying.
Point being is like that would be a reason to walk out, not over the content of a radio show.
Sure. And I wouldn't like that if that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't, because of COVID, I didn't get a raise this year.
Right.
And was set to get a decent raise this year, but
yeah. Well, my whole thing, like we were talking about that though, but like how many other and there's none to that scale, but they're not boycotting and demanding editing rights for other fucking podcasts that have just as, if not more, because I don't think Joe Rogan's that controversial. They'll just talk about anything and they'll share their opinions on it, but they're not like, I don't know, they're not breaking the world with some wokeness. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's whatever. It's ridiculous. But the fact that that's even a thing, that's even in the news, that's even being considered is fucking insanity.
It's crazy to me that the party that was all about freedoms and not stifling people is now the one that wants to stifle, because it's generally the left-leaning side of things that wants to cut that kind of stuff out right now. It's an interesting thing. I mean, the right does it with other things,
right?
But when it comes to free speech, which to me is the more important thing,
Okay.
Than most other things that are out there. Free speech is the more important thing to me anyway.
Right.
It's interesting to me that the left side of the aisle is the one more willing to stifle what someone can and can't say.
Well, it's like we gave you shit, but the John Cleese quote that you read last time, as far as we've started catering to the most sensitive parts of society, and it just becomes ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't understand that. Like, I understand consideration for other people.
Yeah,
I get that, and that's because that goes into what we were talking about earlier, and not intentionally being hurtful with things.
Yeah,
but if you say some shit and somebody gets offended by it, but it's nothing that you could do about it, or you weren't meaning to.
Well, that's going to say you have to consider intent. You have to.
Yeah.
It's all right. To use us for example, we play a game occasionally. We haven't played it in a while called "Who's That Racist?" It's not to glorify racist things or racist people. It's to go, this is crazy shit that people that you would have never thought or that we often put up on a pedestal have said,
which I find hilarious.
Yes, we find it hilarious that we've put these people on the pedestal and have been, I guess, for lack of a better term, duped by them.
Right,
but.
Yeah, I don't understand being that caught up. Like, my whole thing is like, if you don't like what the fuck Joe Rogan's saying, don't fucking listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Jeffries said on Whitney Cummings' podcast, and I've said it on here before, is like, you're not offended by the joke. You're offended that people thought it was funny.
Yeah,
that's it. And it's like, fuck off. If you don't go to a comedy show, don't listen to a podcast, don't watch a TV show if you're offended by it.
Right.
If you're offended by it, take a deep, long, hard look inside at why you're offended by it.
But that's what people aren't going to do. Is that whole why is this offending me? How am I going to change? Or am I right in being offended? Am I not right about being offended? Whatever the case is, like, there's not that much consideration. It's I'm offended. It's got to change. Like, that's as far as that fucking goes.
Anyone listening, and chances are no one listening falls into this category if you're listening to us. There, in my opinion, there's no right time to be offended.
Yeah.
If something offends you, and especially if it's taking up brain activity for an extended period of time, even more so, you have a bigger problem.
Okay.
Because you have control over whether you hear, see, or participate in it.
Okay.
That's just like, there's no reason for you to be offended by almost anything. I say almost because you could be offended by what the guy did that killed George Floyd.
Right.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you're partaking in anything that's considered entertainment, TV show, movie, podcast, music, if you're offended by it, fuck you. It's your fault that you heard it. So just don't listen to it anymore. Don't partake of it. I mean, it's that easy to not be offended by it. It's fucking insane.
Kind of.
No.
Yeah, kind of.
That's fine.
Because you don't necessarily get to choose if you heard it.
You get to choose if you continue to hear something that is
after the
quote offensive to you. But I would venture to say, like in most cases, not all, but in most cases, if something you watch, listen to, participate in, or whatever skirts a line that could offend you.
I think it depends on your age demographic and your naivety of the social media. Like, I can tell you right now, I have seen, like, being in a restaurant, traveling, and like some 67-year-old like old couple are out there eating at a fucking Applebee's, whatever, and Wet Ass Pussy comes on the fucking radio.
What Applebee's is playing?
It's heavily edited. It was at an airport, but like the horrible offense, like they have no choice that they heard that. Okay, they don't have to go and continue listening to it, but their offense is genuine. Like, it's justified, in my opinion. Not to demand them change the station.
To me, the more egregious thing is that a restaurant is playing pop music. That's the more egregious thing there.
Okay,
but
you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but if it's heavily edited, whatever, just fuck off. It's not for you.
Of course, but they're in a public space where they're not going. It's kind of like, we've talked about this. If you were in when we were younger, like if you'd been with your 12, 13-year-old kids and there's a table right behind you of college guys that were like, fucking shit, that cunt ass bitch, I was fucking this whore over the fucking table, you would be offended by that.
No, because I had that happen to me.
Right. Did you say something?
I was not offended by it, but I said, hey, maybe pay attention, guys, there's kids around here. But I'm not offended by it at all. I'm just like, hey, know your surroundings. To me, I was more trying to give a teachable moment to these guys by saying, hey, know your surroundings. You're whatever, 18, 19, 20 years old. Know your surroundings. Yeah. There's kids. Don't say that around the kids. But I wasn't offended by it at all.
You weren't personally offended by it. You're offended.
I wasn't offended at all.
You didn't want your kids to hear it?
No, it's not that I didn't want my kids to hear. My kids heard that in plenty of other areas. But I just was telling these guys, there were other people's kids that maybe they didn't want to hear it. I don't know. But my thing was just more like know your audience, man.
Yeah. I got you.
That's the thing.
Okay.
I mean, I said something in a gas station one time because they were playing a song with just completely unedited. Mm-hmm. And it was not that I didn't want my kids to hear it. It was, you're a business, don't do this. And which they said to me was if you don't want to hear it, then leave. Mm-hmm. Fine. And we left. Yeah. I mean, we finished what we were doing, but we left. I mean, I'm just completely agree with that.
Okay. But
I understand I may be the exception to the rule.
No. And you're going to argue me with it. But I would say the fact...
No, I'm not.
Exactly. The fact that you would take time out of whatever you're doing to talk to a store employee to tell them you didn't think the music they were playing was appropriate is a type of offense.
I didn't take time out of my... I did it in the process of what I was already doing. I already had to talk to them. And said something about it at that.
You still made the effort to bring that up, whereas you could have shortened the transaction just by doing it and going.
Sure.
So I'm saying part of it offended you in some way that you felt obligated to say something about it.
I took it as more of an opportunity to tell someone running a business.
Why? Not your business?
It's not that it's my business. It was more along the lines you guys really could have a problem with the people coming in here and seeing this and could hurt your business. Because I don't like to see small businesses hurt.
It's not your business. It's not your problem.
No, it's not my business. I didn't say it was my business.
That's a type of offense is my point.
Okay, but it's not what we're saying when people say they're offended by something. That's not what we're talking about.
You were. Yeah.
I was not offended by it.
You were. You wouldn't have said anything had you not been offended.
No, not at all. Because I would not go back to that place because of that.
Okay.
If I worked there, I wouldn't walk out and not do whatever. I wouldn't bash them on social media.
Those are all extreme examples.
But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about people striking.
But you were just saying those things don't offend you. But it offended you enough to at least say something in that moment.
No, that was me hearing something and going, hey, you guys might probably deter some customers in here. It didn't offend me. I was more pointing out to them that, hey, you're going to have some customers come in here that you're never going to get back because of this. It's not because it bothers me. It's because I'm trying.
It obviously did bother you, or you wouldn't have cared.
No, it's me trying to tell somebody.
Were you talking to the owner of the company?
I was talking to the manager.
Okay, is that the owner of the company?
No, it's not the owner of the company. It's the one that manages the company.
It manages the employees in of the company.
Sure, but it manages the music. They manage the music that comes on. They manage what goes on in there. Yes, they do.
No, the owner might say, I want this music played at all times.
You do realize you can say something to someone and not be offended by what happened.
Right.
You can say something to try to help someone and you're not offended. And that was the thing. It was you guys are going to deter people. This is the South. You're playing a song it's a rap song. First off, that's going to deter people in some areas, but that you're dropping fucks and all the other shit. And I'm not offended at all, but I'm saying you guys are going to deter some people from coming in here. So you should consider this.
You're offended.
Whatever. At this point, you're just trying to piss me off. And you're not, because I know I wasn't offended by it.
Am I offending you?
No, not at all. No, I don't know.
I got you riled up just a little bit.
I'm right. This is an easy topic for me to be riled up about anyway. But it's I
think we just ban profanity in public and then, solves all the problems.
Yeah, and don't spit on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't whatever.
Or smoke in a park.
No, fuck that. Right. I'm offended if that's what
it's ridiculous. And I hate everything.
I saw a video the other day where a guy was riding a 4-wheeler or ATV. I didn't see what it was, regardless.
Here we go.
In this open area, and there was a gate to get in and out of this area. And this woman was walking by, and she grabbed the gate, closed it, and locked it as this guy coming up on this ATV was going to come out. Because she said, if you don't have more respect for my lungs than to be driving that around out here, then I'm going to lock you in there. And then
you witnessed
away.
this?
No, I saw a video.
No,
I saw. No, if I'd have witnessed it, I would have. I don't know what I would do.
You'd have been offended.
Bashed that woman's head in. I don't know. No, I'm just saying. I saw a video of it. Like, the guy on the 4-wheeler had a GoPro on, and it.
I got you.
This was interesting to me. So. Not interesting. Interesting is not the right word, but
no, that was not interesting.
No, it's an interesting thing that people feel like they have the right to just lock him in there because he's on,
or even
an
just to
ATV.
alter someone else's behavior because it does not align with what they think their behavior should be.
Here's the thing: she was complaining about what the exhaust on that ATV was doing to her lungs. She had a mask on.
Right.
If it's going to keep the coronavirus out, it's probably going to keep some of that stuff from the exhaust out.
Some of it.
Yeah. Enough that she's not going to be harmed. She was walking by.
Okay.
She could have just kept on walking.
One of those carcinogens might have gotten in her lungs.
Fuck off. Whatever. No. If the coronavirus can't get in your lungs from a mask, neither can a carcinogen from an ATV exhaust that's 20 feet away.
Have you measured the particles that those are made of to know which one can fit?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Oh my God.
Nah, whatever. Moving on. Bill Maher, who we both love,
the science
for the
guy.
most part. Yes.
Yeah.
Bill Maher blasts the Academy's new diversity rules.
I saw that.
They should be called best picture should be called most worthy. So I'm just going to read a couple of quotes from him. Have you watched the Oscars this century? This seems like a case of washing a glass that's already been through the dishwasher. Let's see here. Have you? It's like washing a glass that's already been through the dishwasher, Mar said, rattling off a list of diverse Best Picture nominees and winners that include Green Book, Parasite, The Shape of Water, Precious, A Beautiful Mind, Moonlight, blah, 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 blah. The Academy is not exactly known for awarding liberal virtue. They should call Best Picture most worthy, he said. Look at the contenders and winners in recent years. They were nominated not by their popularity with audiences, but by the diversity and virtue signaling. Wouldn't it be easier to just say not Chris Pine? He said. He also said, diversity is important, but it needs to be said it's not the only thing that's important. It's also important that we don't wind up with artists guided less by a creative vision and more by a to-do list.
Mm-hmm. Cameron
Diaz is Cuban on her grandmother's side. Is that Latin enough? He also said, we're talking about a world where if you want to make the next Schindler's List, the thing you'll need to do is give a racial breakdown of all your employees. Does anyone see the irony in that? Some of the best movies ever made were by refugees from communist and fascist countries who got out because they didn't like being told what art was acceptable.
Yeah.
I love Bill Maher.
He's a smart dude.
I don't agree with everything he says, but when he pinpoints something like that, I agree with what he's saying.
Did you watch? It's old now, but Religulous. Have we talked about that?
I didn't watch Religulous.
It's worth watching.
I know it is, and I just haven't. Yeah. I don't. When I'm looking for something new,
I was watching it right in the earlier stages of my falling away.
Sure,
but I was still offended by a lot of things as far as it fell outside of the whole Christian circle.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of it I won't agree with because I don't agree with him a lot on some of the religious stuff.
Right, no, but I watched it, dude. It was one of the most fair documentaries I've ever seen. Like, it was amazingly done. And there was obviously no documentaries unbiased. None. Doesn't exist. Doesn't happen. Unless it's like one of those time life things where they're just like, and this happened on this day. There's bombs falling. This happened on this day, where there's no like narrative. But
sure.
But all in all, it was very, very good. And like, he genuinely, when he spoke with people and interviewed them, he listened and interacted. It wasn't just him editing to prove a point type of thing, which I I've always appreciated about when people can do that, like not coming in and interviewing with some smugness about them, trying to trap them in something or whatever, but legitimately having a conversation.
He's not Michael Moore.
Right. Michael Moore's a fat fucking cock.
But here's what I'll say. As far as documentaries go, he puts out a damn good documentary. Now, you're getting solely his opinion, which in general is kind of the way documentaries should be. You're getting someone's opinion on it, unless it's like you said, a time life or whatever. I mean, documentaries are meant to give your opinion on something and document those things out there.
No.
Yeah. But
no.
But he is a smug, lying piece of shit.
Yes.
Like I think he was on Howard Stern, and he was talking about the little guy and how the poor don't get whatever. And Howard Stern said, what are you worth? And he was like, not a lot. Whatever. He's like, well, come on, what are you worth? And Howard knew already. They already looked it up, and it was like $50 million. And Michael Moore threw out a number, and he was like, more like 50 million or whatever. He's like, well, I mean, I guess if you count the house or whatever, which Howard's like, house or houses?
Right.
Like, and which was one thing I love about Howard Stern is that he'll call you on your bullshit or something like that. And he has this knack for getting shit out of people that some other people can't get. But Michael Moore's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Just, irregardless.
But going back, This is stabbing on me now.
I know
you said the documentary is meant to be as an expression of an opinion. Is
when
what
someone
the form of a
makes
documentary
the original reason for a documentary, not the History Channel trying to give you the history on something, it's to give your opinion on something.
No.
And show everything out there and then give your opinion on that.
No.
Yeah.
The purpose of a documentary was to document, like to tell a story of, say, we're doing a documentary on Kelly Slater, the surfer. The documentary is supposed to be about, like,
I thought that was in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that one too. But of like where they came from, their origin, and moving forward. And so naturally, the filmmaker is going to have some perspective on it, sure, but it's supposed to be to document that story, not to.
You're talking about a biographical or autobiographical thing about a person.
No. I'm saying if you did a documentary about his career or a documentary about, let's say, a group of people. Let's say they're doing a documentary on a fucking, you're still going to call it a biopic, but if it's a group of people, something they accomplished, and it's the story of how that occurred. Like, that's not supposed to be like an opinion-based piece. The documentary is meant to like document that thing and show the factually what happened behind it, and it's divulged into a form of storytelling.
But documentary, as we know it, was meant to also give your opinion on it. It was meant to put the facts out there.
A form of it,
but
it
also
could be used
give
for that.
Your
but that wasn't
opinion of that.
the purpose and the baseline of a documentary is to document something. Anything off of that has been an offshoot in a form of media used to express an opinion or to, what the fuck? I just forgot the word. Either express opinion or to influence something or whatever. And those are all offshoots that have come out of that. But the purpose of a goddamned documentary
I think
is
that
to
the
document.
title of documentary was wrongly used, but the way a documentary was meant to be was to document things, but also whoever the filmmaker is doing that to
Facts.
Get their
Show me.
opinion
Where does that
in
say?
there.
That
Where does what say? Where does any of it say?
Well, how do you know that that's the meaning of it?
The meaning of it?
Or the purpose that was to share an opinion?
Go back, way back in the day. Schindler's List.
I'm just saying, you're always demanding numbers and facts from me. This is one, you're claiming this. I want to.
There's no numbers to give on it. There's no numbers on it.
Okay. Why? No year that when the
Bowling
documentary.
for Columbine. Fahrenheit 9/11. Schindler's List.
Oh my God. Documentaries.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
The Breakfast Club.
No. Not the Breakfast Club.
No, the Breakfast Club. I thought that was a documentary
fiction.
I thought that was a documentary on teen life in the fucking 80s.
No.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption.
Fucking hate you so much.
I do have something I think you'll be interested in. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. But
no.
I'm just saying I've got something
No,
you'll be interested
I'm
in.
saying you've perfected as of late, and you've always been good at it, but now you're so fucking subtle. You'll have one thing thrown in, and it's not on purpose always, but as soon as you catch a glimpse in my eye of something that you can tell just ticks me, you fucking double down, man.
Yeah, sometimes
And
I'm
you
just
give me-
sometimes I'm just throwing
until I
shit
bite.
at a wall and like
Yeah.
hoping something hits.
And I don't realize it till afterwards.
I know.
Like this whole documentary thing. You just kept fucking. I was like, and I was like, you fucking asshole. You got me all riled up. I know you're not that fucking stupid.
Oh God.
And you're just sitting there and you just keep feeding the same. But fuck you, man. Fuck you. I just had this moment of clarity, and I'm like, God damn you, son of a bitch.
Oh God. Oh, man. I mean, I could rattle off documentaries all night long.
You better. Not even that. Just your insistence. Oh my, fuck you. All right, what's the next thing I might be interested in?
I think you will be interested in this. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. My dogs are going off. Olivia must be home. A student just proved paradox-free time travel is possible.
Nice.
Let's see here. In a new peer-reviewed paper, a senior honors undergraduate says he has mathematically proven the physical feasibility of a specific kind of time travel.
Okay.
This paper appears in Classical and Quantum Gravity, which I guess is whatever, the journal. University of Queensland student Jermaine Tobar, who the university's press release calls prodigious.
That sounds racist.
Interesting. Worked with UQ physics professor Fabio Costa on this paper.
Sounds sexy.
In Reverse Dynamics with Closed Time-like Curves and Freedom of Choice, Tobar and Costa say they've found a middle ground in mathematics that solves a major logical paradox in one model of time travel.
Okay.
The math itself is complex, but it boils down to something fairly simple. Time travel discussion focuses on closed time-like curves, something Albert Einstein first posited, and Tobar and Costa say that as long as just two pieces of an entire scenario within a closed time-like curve are still in casual order when you leave, the rest is subject to local free will. Quoted as saying, our results show that CTCs are not only compatible with determinism and with the local free choice of operations, but also with a rich and diverse range of scenarios and dynamical, that's an interesting word, dynamical processes. So let's see here. There's another quote. This is a long
by the
quote.
Fraggles.
This is a long quote, but I think this kind of explains it. Say you travel in time in an attempt to stop COVID-19's patient zero from being exposed to the virus.
Notice they didn't go with the Hitler thing, but go ahead.
Sure. However, if you stop that individual from becoming infected, that would eliminate the motivation for you to go back and stop the pandemic in the first place. This is a paradox, an inconsistency that often leads people to think that time travel cannot occur in our universe. Logically, it's hard to accept because that would affect our freedom to make any arbitrary action. It would mean you can time travel, but you cannot do anything that would cause a paradox to occur. In the coronavirus patient zero example, you might try and stop patient zero from becoming infected, but in doing so, you would catch the virus and become patient zero, or someone else would. No matter what you did, the salient events would just recalibrate around you. Try as you might to create a paradox, the events will always adjust themselves to avoid any inconsistency.
Interesting.
I thought you might like that.
Simulation.
Sure.
Basically, it's a computer, like a self-repairing computer program. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I've always found it interesting as well, and I'm not well versed on all of the actual studies and theories behind the perception of space-time and all that stuff.
Right.
But just generally, like it's always cool to me. Like most of the stuff that Einstein hypothesized and what these guys have proven is all based on more or less a linear time curve and timeline. But there's a few schools of thought that time is not linear, that essentially everything happening through the scope of time is all happening right fucking now.
Right.
Like it's all layered. And I think that's a really cool way of, and I've also heard that thrown out by Christian leaders and shit saying like, oh, hey, that's how God knows everything because time isn't linear and it's stacked. But then they go about the whole earth is created in 6,000 years and that fucking fucks all their shit all over. But,
right.
But it is very interesting to me, some of that stuff. I don't know what to do with a lot of it because I have all kinds of different theories, but then those theories and by theories, I mean conceptual ideas, not like, the theory, not a scientific theory, which that was a big thing. Do you remember like being younger in the church? They'd be like, well, evolution, that's just a fucking theory.
Right.
I'm like, it's not the same theory that you're thinking of, you fucking dumbass. And when you're younger,
it's like doctors don't know what they're doing. That's why it's called a practice.
Right. No, I've heard that a lot. It's like, no, you realize like a scientific theory is one that has whatever.
Well, it is. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, medical and all of it is a theory, and if you're a good scientist and a good medical doctor, or whatever, you're constantly trying to disprove that with other things, and you either learn that it's true, or you're disproving it and finding out more facts that then take it to a new level.
Right. But it's a different type of what it's been dumbed down to for most people. Like, well, I have a theory about this. It's a completely different type of usage of the word theory. Like a theory is something that they can prove 90% of the time, but there's still a percentage. It's not like 100% fact at that point in time. It's essentially what that boils down to. It's like, so with evolution, there's like all of this evidence that points at, yes, there's a 99% certainty that this is how shit happened, but that 1% is where it keeps firing back, and they keep trying to disprove it, which is the cool thing about science. But
it's terrible science if you're not trying to disprove things.
But as opposed to, like I said, the whole whatever, it's like, well, it's just a theory. It's like, no, it's just like in there. You're saying it's just an idea that somebody speculates. Like that's not a fucking what a theory is.
Yeah,
Anyway, I got this theory that people's watching me. You ever seen somebody watching you? You fucking douche.
Well, so this.
What would you do if you could time travel to any period in history?
Kill Hitler. No.
All you could do is observe.
All I could do is observe.
Greece bathhouses. Or that'd be Roman bathhouses.
I want to go see if Socrates and Plato on them really were fucking kids.
That's what I was.
No, I think I would like to. And it's purely selfish. This is
Socrates.
Purely selfish. This would really bring nothing back to present day.
Well, nor would it have to.
Sure, I'm just saying. But I would like to go and be in the Abbey Road studios and see what it was like being in the studio with the Beatles, and how some of the Sgt. Pepper's and some of those albums were. How that really went about being created and the creative process behind it. That would be really cool.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Really dreaming big there, Joey.
Do what?
I said you're really dreaming big there.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
I'm going to go find out if cavemen really used a club to get laid. They really just hit women over the head.
Just drag them on back.
Right. No, I mean... I'd like to go see if Jesus really suffered on the cross.
Or if he enjoyed it.
No, I mean... I want to see...
The cross is actually the name of a very fancy spa.
If once his name actually cut off the whole ear, if it was just the lobe.
Okay.
Or, no, I don't know. I mean, for sure, selfishly, I'd like to go see how the Beatles were in the studio with some of their albums. For sure.
Yeah. I just had the thought pictured of like how it would be in modern times if Jesus was around, is like suffering on the cross would be like, the cross would be the name of some type of salon, and he had just like a really bad experience with a masseuse, and that would be him suffering at the cross.
So honestly, I would like to go back to some of those times to see just how harsh some of those people that the church really hold up in high esteem were.
Yeah.
Like how much of what how, in my opinion, if those people were alive today and were the same way in modern day, they would be just absolutely considered heretics and assholes.
Yeah.
And I would like to be able to go back and actually see those things.
Take your see. I'm not the only one.
No, I'm just saying, like,
No, I know.
I mean,
No, I got you.
To hear even just to go by the stories that are in the Bible about Paul.
Yeah.
It's Paul's a fucking hard ass.
I just like Song of Solomon for all the fucking ass banging.
No, I just think I would like to go back and see some of us to be able to come back and go, okay, this is really how it was. You guys think this is all just, do unto others.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
See, I think the time travel, like getting back on this, maybe whatever, it would be really cool. And I think more realistically, depending on how they end up finding, this is how I picture it in my head, right? Is find a way to time travel, but it's not it's physical time travel in regards to like where we are, our bodies are, we're traveling wherever. But because of how space-time works and the layered realities, whatever the case may be.
How does space-time work?
In relation to the understanding of the shit that we've read. I'm not going to break down my lack of understanding in space-time. But I'm saying, but us going back through in relation to those things that you read about sometimes in articles,
sure, that
where you're there as kind of an observer, like in the sense of you're in a different reality plane, in the sense of you're there, you're witnessing, but you can't be seen. So you can't interact and fuck things up in that bubble, but you can observe and whatever. That would be fucking cool. Like I'd be down for that.
Do you think that's how time travel works?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
But what do you think?
If it's, again, I don't know enough about all the shit. It depends. Like if there's a truly a layered reality, I shouldn't say reality, layered dimensions, right? Like there's multiple dimensions. And I'm not even talking about dimensions with like a whole separate like world in it, as much as just layers of frequencies, right? So if like there's a spirit realm, it's just another dimension layered on top of the one that we have. Sometimes they can cross over, whatever, however you want to view that, right? And I've heard that before, whether it's
darkest timeline shit.
No, not darkest timeline shit. That's a multiverse, which is way cool.
I know,
yeah. But layered up, so like you have our dimension and the things that we can sense, third dimension, whatever. And then like if you want to take the Bible into it, like angels, demons, whatever would exist on another, the spiritual dimension or whatever. And then that's a really good way to factor in ghosts and shit too, if you want to throw that in, because they would be on another dimensional plane, right? That might be in between the two. And then you might have two layers of that, the ones that are active, physical, like evil entities, and ones that are like on that loop, whatever. Anyway, irregardless, to be able to travel back and basically exist in one of those planes, like whatever, and just kind of be an observer in that time period is what I'm saying would be fucking cool. And I don't know what you asked me originally of how I thought it worked. Like I don't fucking know. I do think there are probably multiple dimensions. They've gotten fucking pretty close to proving some of that shit, or at least multiverses, which is amazing to think about.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of.
Which I got called a fucking heretic one time because I posed the thought. While I was in church, like, okay, so going by the Bible, like God's not coming back till every single person has heard the gospel.
Sure.
Right.
In which case he's never coming back.
Right. And then like supposedly, depending on your interpretation of the Bible, like there's only a select number getting into heaven. Like, and they talk about the numerology behind it's really weird, but if God really doesn't want people to, one of my theories I propose is like, well, what if, like the whole quantum theory goes, that every time you make a decision, essentially it splits off into another reality, right? And so on and so forth. Or the thing that you simultaneously exist in an infinite number of dimensions. So in this one, we're here doing the podcast. Another one, we don't know each other. Like I'm fucking homeless and you're the president of the United States. You know what I mean? All these possibilities.
Making America great again.
Right. Or you factor in the karmic wheel into this, right? And so if you just get all these chances over and over and over again until everybody's gotten to one point where you have emphatically chosen not, like that makes more sense to me of how you're describing God's nature to be in regards to salvation and grace and all these things, that we'd all get so many chances. You'd have to have 2 billion timelines, and each one of those you're like, fuck this. And then,
I mean, I've posed the thought before to people, and
to watch
their heads spin of saying like, All right, so what if the way we understand it is not really how it is? What if he doesn't know what we're going to do, but he knows what each choice we have, and then what that would take us to next, but he doesn't know which choice we're going to make? Like we have the choice to end the podcast here.
Right.
Or continue doing it, and he knows what will happen next. That would have been great if you just hit
about it. I thought about it.
If he knows what's going to happen if we continue, he knows what's going to happen if we don't.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know which one we're going to pick.
Right.
I've posed that thought before, and people don't.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Be still. Fucking
shit!
Ass bug on
So I just thought, like, it just depends on how far you want to break that down, right?
Sure.
If it's just a major life function in the road, because I really don't think God gives a fuck what kind of socks you're going to wear in the morning.
Absolutely.
People do.
If your team is going to win the game.
I don't think God gives a shit what job you're going to take.
Sure.
Or what you're going to name your fucking kid, or even if you're going to have kids. Like, this shit doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that there are bigger things for him to think
like,
about.
Honestly, and this is where I differ from a lot of people, like, if there is a God as we as understood in the Christian realm,
sure,
I don't think he gives a shit about anyone on anything other than like choosing to murder someone or not. Like, I think he's got more important shit to do to worry about the people that are going to, like, I feel like his focus would be, even though he knows the number of hairs on your head, but like, he's more worried about fucking, okay, I can't even say that. I mean, I can say it, it just doesn't make sense. Take Stephen goddamn Hawking, one of the most brilliant motherfuckers that's ever lived.
Okay.
Yeah, right? I'm just saying, like, he died a fucking full-on atheist and everything else, and was one of the most brilliant scientific minds of our time, and has all this other shit and all the things he contributed to science and humanity.
Sure.
And he's just gonna burn in hell. And like, I don't understand that mindset. And there's other things too, but that's a whole different. I'm getting off on a tangent.
There's a lot of things like with the church, at least the way it is in modern day and in North America, is like, at what age do you reach before you don't?
Right.
At what age do you then go to hell if you die?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's one thing I didn't want to bring up with Reese, because we got into some Christianity stuff, and I really wanted to dive into it more, but I know where, I shouldn't say personally he stands, but as a whole, and you can glean from some of what he says. Sure. I know he's still very much as a Christian and whatever, but what I have found that Christians, just like people, but especially Christians, are really fucking good at is justifying where their stance is based on whatever understanding of the Bible that they have at that point in their life. So, like, for instance, he cusses. I don't think there's a problem with that. It doesn't bother me. I don't think there's biblically an issue with that. But there are some denominations of Christian that you do not cuss. Like, that is profane. You stay away from that. And they will tell you biblically why that is the case.
Sure.
And he will sit and talk to you about grace, and we'll talk to you about, I'm pointing like he's on the screen, talk to you about, like, grace and what the true meaning behind it. And so he's got his own backup from the same fucking book, from the same fucking religion, for the same thing. That I can't stand it. I can't fucking see. He's like, either just say, I don't believe this shit, or I don't believe this part. But if you deny part, then you deny all, according to the Christian mindset. If you say, well, I don't think they meant this in the Bible, because it's not literal. It's like, well, then you're denying the inerrancy of the Word of God, and then you're denouncing Christianity. Sure. Like, so because of that, Christianity becomes this, well, let me morph the understanding of the Bible into what best fits what I think is right and wrong, in which case you're no different than fucking anybody else. You're choosing whatever your moral compass is to justify your behavior. James. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just like King James did.
Yeah. I
was making an amazing fucking point, and goddamn it, you had to throw in the King James thing. I know.
I didn't intend on any of this to go as part of, to go into a religious discussion.
I didn't either.
Just more along the lines of, I know you're interested in time travel and multiverse and things. So
aliens.
I mean, basically I
introduced a man to the ancient aliens, by the way.
Oh yeah,
watching that. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, basically that paper that was written or whatever, it was just kind of just posits the theory and supposedly mathematically proves that you could, at least in that form of time travel, you can go back in without ruining the world.
Did you ever see the documentary, What the Bleep Do We Know?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes, the whole thing had delved into a lot of like quantum physics and some other shit.
Sure.
But at that point in time, like, I've read so many articles on actual scientific communities denouncing this as fringe science, and people they were making like it was true, and slowly like a lot of that shit has been proven to be either true or close to like much not fringe anymore.
Right.
Like more accepted theories, and I find that to be very interesting. In a lot of ways, and they pose some really cool questions in that. But anyway, I would recommend. It's old, it's a little dated now, but it's a good documentary.
Yeah, I mean, I've not watched it, but I know what you're talking about. Whatever.
I mean, it's not as good of a documentary as Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but
I mean, that's not my favorite.
no, of course not.
I think, I don't know, Bill and Ted,
Hangover,
The Hangover, for sure.
yeah.
That's just an anti-drug movie. That's anti-drug propaganda.
Yeah.
Just the same as Reefer Madness. Whatever.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Reefer Madness?
No.
Oh, it's so
I've never
good.
watched it,
It's so good. It's no Demolition Man, and it's no Waterworld, but
I can imagine. Waterworld.
dude, I'm fucking tired, man.
I know you are. All right. I'm good. I'm good with stopping right now.
Oh, I'm good to keep going.
Okay. I'm good to keep going.
You're tired too. I can see on your face you're fucking
I am tired, but we got on a roll and I was fine with it.
Yeah.
But I have to piss again.
Oh my
God. I've drinking a lot more.
drinking.
I almost said drinking. I've
Drank a lot of that shit,
lot
man.
more. All right. Let me ask you a question. And
False.
who knows where this is going to go?
Okay.
Do you know anything about dreams, as like what things mean in dreams? Because I haven't looked it up purposely to ask you about this.
Okay, I'm not going to claim to be an expert. I know some. Well, I've read a good bit about it when I was younger. I'm not saying I remember all of it or whatever, but yes, some.
Do you know or remember what snakes or snake attack or snake bites mean in a dream?
Ooh. So, my gut says I think I do, but I'm not going to spit it out here on this podcast. As you will shit all over it if I'm wrong.
No. I don't know. I haven't looked it up.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
honestly
We could look
God.
it. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
You tell me what you think it means. I'm going to look it up. I have had over the last...
I'm going to say betrayal.
Really?
Yeah. But I could be completely wrong.
I have had over the last 3 weeks, let's say. I think it may be 2, but let's just say 3, just in case.
Okay.
Over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've had at least 3 dreams where a snake was in my dream and attempting to bite me.
Okay.
And to the extent...
And I forgot I have read this. I was
to
wrong.
the extent that I woke up kicking at the snake.
Really?
And one night I even said, like, yelled out, no, or whatever, like, no, or something like that. And almost
Get away from me, devil.
Almost kicked the dog in the face one night from it or whatever. So I had a dream similar, not the same dreams, but where a snake was trying to bite me 2 times in the last 2 weeks, and then I talked about it with my wife and daughter, which is why I completely chalked that up to why I dreamed about it that same night.
Okay.
But anyway, so I just wondered if you, and I didn't intend to talk about this tonight, but
Okay, so
anyway,
a couple of things I was looking up, like one, and this thing breaks it way down into different kind of. What kind of snake was it? Does it say? What is it? Did you say? Does it? I guess.
I think in one dream it was a poison snake, and in another dream it was not a rattlesnake. I don't think in any of them. One of them I was in the water, in like a creek or something, and a snake was going to try to bite me. There was a lot of snakes in there, and one was fixed to try to bite me. The dream I had the other night, it was not a poisonous snake, but it was someone had it and was like putting it back into its container or whatever, and it turned around and decided to strike at me, and I kicked at it.
Huh.
But anyway, what I'm seeing from dreamingandsleeping.com, if you have seen in your dream that a snake has bitten you, it is usually a symbol of your fears in a real life.
That's what I say. Yeah.
The dream can also symbolize fascination or something for something or someone. If a snake has bitten you in your dream, it can be a warning for you to think of your own life and to make some changes. Now, I have not been bitten in any of my dreams, but I did have a snake strike.
I was reading another one there saying it can also be the sign of not a betrayal, but a toxic person in your life that's trying to attack. But it's also if it's out. I was just reading through it, and there's like, well, if it's an outside snake, but it's not poisonous, it could be healing, and it could be but it's a snake, so you need to take notice.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Well,
I think you're gonna die.
All right. Well, I mean, it could be that. It could be just that, ladies and gentlemen, this will be our last episode.
Right.
And no, I don't.
No, it'll be your last episode.
Could be. God, can you imagine if I just like this was the last time you saw me? Like this episode's the last time.
I can't imagine that.
Okay.
I might commit my life back to the church.
Oh God, that's good.
The one thing I've prayed for the last year and a half is finally happening. Oh shit. I think that's a good stopper unless you got something else.
No, I'm good. I am good.
All right, buddy. Well, I don't think we have any guests next week either. It's
no, it's gonna be an odd episode for us because we have to record on a different day than normal.
Yeah,
because you're going to make amends.
I'm not going to make amends. It's gonna do. I'm telling you, it's gonna be I will report back for sure on this trip, and then the week after that, I think we have the guys from Defiant Aftercare.
I don't think it's that.
Is it not?
Maybe it is.
That's my tattoo weekend.
Let's see here. So next
10th.
weekend, yeah, the 10th. Yeah, okay.
Right, that's weekend after next.
It is. It just doesn't because we're not going to record on the weekend. It doesn't feel like
right.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we got to spend this time together.
Look at us, under 2 hours. It's close, but
close.
it's under 2 hours.
I know.
All right.
Fucking ass. This is the most riled up you've gotten me tonight in a long time, and it took me. It makes me more mad that it took me so long to realize you were doing it.
We do it to each other.
We do. But I'm just saying,
it just took you longer to realize it.
Yeah, I'm tired, but yeah, I was like, oh, you motherfucker. God damn it. So well played. Well played, you, sir.
Well, that's fine.
And if you're out there listening and you got your feelings hurt by any part of this, go fuck yourself.
Hey, so just to anyone listening, we want to do an episode where we answer some questions or give advice. Yes. About anything. Doesn't matter what. It can be on the theory of relativity. It can be on...
We want to help solve your problems, dilemmas, and answer questions.
Could be on you don't know which job to take.
Yep.
Please, for the love of God, send us an email.
Right.
bfff.podcast@gmail.com. Send us a message on social media. That's fine. But give us a question. I would like to know your name. Where your
first name, anyway.
First name, yeah. In the email or message, if you don't want your name used, that's fine. Put that in there. If you
just give us a name.
If you put it in there, we won't use it. But I want to know your name, age, and where you're from.
I'll tell them where I'm coming.
Town or wherever.
Oh.
And if you don't want any of that put out publicly in the podcast, put that in the message, and we won't put it out there. But I want to know that because that could kind of form the opinion of what you should do depending on where you're coming from.
Right.
If you're coming from England, it's going to be different than if you're coming from Pulaski, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah.
All I know is I'm coming from behind.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm coming from up under. Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
All right. Until next time. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook at B3F Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at B3F Podcast and on Instagram at B3F_podcast. Send us your questions or comments to bfff.podcast@gmail.com. Rate us and review us wherever you listen to the show. And as always, thanks for listening.